I'm Andrea C., Director of Product Marketing here at Luciq. I spend most of my days talking to engineering and business leaders and telling their stories. And as mentioned in the previous session, and something that's been very prevalent, is this concept of developer productivity gaps triggered by teams who are drowning in data but starving for insights. So we've all seen that dashboards that say 99% crash free, and the App Store reviews reveal a completely different thing, where the app is basically unusable. So we're ditching the slides today, ditching the marketing fluff that I'm very used to, and I've brought together two amazing guests, two leaders who have been in the trenches, moving their teams from fragmented silos and mystery bugs to a culture of total observability. So, to tack on to what Kenny and Daniel have already mentioned, we're going to be talking about MTTR, developer burnout, why mobile performance is actually a revenue metric and not just a Jira ticket. So, hello, John. Hello, Anam. So, to get us started, I'd love for our guests to introduce themselves. So, tell us who you are, where you're based, the company you're part of, what you're building, and to keep it on theme, what was the fire of the week that used to keep you up at night before you had a clear view of your mobile stack? Let's start with Anam, and then I'll hand it off to John.
Perfect. Andrea, thanks so much for taking the time and introducing us. Really appreciate it. Very quickly, I'm Anam Lakhani, co-founder of Alinea Invest. We're an AI-powered investing app. When we launched during YC Winter 2021, we used Luciq from the get-go, back when it had a different name. And one of the things that's really helped us on our journey, especially being an investing app and a consumer product, is being able to see bugs come in real time. And so for us, it's hard to test across different devices when you're a small startup, seeing those changes in UI, UX, really catching bugs as quickly as we can, and being able to just get better and better with every release is what Luciq has really helped us with.
Awesome. Thanks, Anam. John? Off.
Sure. I'll go. I'm John Friend. I'm the technical team lead at The Economist. So I'm responsible for all the mobile teams at Economist that develop the Economist apps, and obviously the main app is the Economist app. I was brought in sort of just over 2 years ago to The Economist to basically redevelop completely the Economist app from scratch because it was felt that for what is a very premium app, which where the subscriptions are really high in terms of cost and in terms of number of people using it, we needed to have premium performance and premium stability. And one of the key issues we had in the old app was that we didn't have good enough observability, right? If customers complained about something not working, it was very difficult for the team to figure that out. And so with the new app, we built Luciq into that. And one of the key things was that one of the key differentiators to the before and after is that in the new Economist app, we actually have the ability for customers to report bugs, not write them up on an app store review, which is the last thing you want to happen, right? You don't want customers complaining on an app store review, because it's not great. You don't want other people reading that, but also they get incredibly little context in an app store review. If you might get something like it doesn't work, and that leads you nowhere to go. Whereas once we implemented Luciq, what we then had, and we had this right from when we start doing the alpha testing of the new app, the beta testing to going into production, we suddenly had great context around what the issue was. You can see the screenshots from their session. You can see all of the logs. You can see when memory was being heavily used or when CPU was heavily being hit. You suddenly had a window on what was going on, whereas before none of that had existed.
That's awesome. No, thank you so much, John. I love how you already dove into one of the key concepts that I wanted to talk to you all about today and ask you guys about, since we are here to learn from your experiences and hear from your expertise. You've touched on the before times. It sounds like it was very chaotic, very broken, and very disconnected. Anam, you mentioned something around like essentially having to keep track of multiple devices, cross device testing, and catching these bugs. John, you've also mentioned something about like context, right? I just wanted to like touch on something really quickly. We've talked about these chaotic times, and if we look at the market today, and I think context is one of the things you were looking for, right? There are 1,000 tools that give you data. There are 1,000 tools that offer some form of observability. Because of that, I just wanted to see, I'd love to hear your thoughts. When you were looking for a partner before you chose Luciq, right? What was on your ultimate mobile observability wish list? Like, what did you need from your mobile observability platform to truly be successful at your jobs? I'm gonna start with Anam, and then John, definitely like chime in whenever you see fit. Yeah.
Thank you. For us, what was very mission critical is getting that gap from the user experience to data to a product and engineering team. And Luciq really bridges that gap. We can in real time get reports of how the app experiences, how's the UI UX, where are users getting stuck, where in the funnel are they having trouble, are we seeing consistent complaints, is it across a certain device? And so having that stream and that bridge in real time is what makes Luciq so valuable to us as a team.
That's amazing. No, I love how you hinged on a lot of things that we really care about, right? Like essentially offering you that full on end to end visibility across your devices. John, is there anything else that you'd like to add in terms of like what you would say, like if you were to wave your magic wand, right? And like in the ideal situation, like what does perfect mobile observability look like to you?
I mean, when we were evaluating products to partner with to improve our observability, one of the key thing that really made Lucic stand out was that depth of information we got in a bug report, right? And also the ability to see previous user session, because obviously they might be reporting about something that happened in a previous session, right? I mean, and so that was really, really powerful. It's that incredibly rich context, you get, is your logs, system logs in there. It's huge amount of data. It's all of the HTTP requests that are going on, all the detail about that, and we were also, able to get really good integration with another product we use as well. It plays nicely with other observability products, right? Which is really cool. So really, it's that ability when a customer complains about something not working to get a really good understanding, insight as to why that is, and then the integration with things like Jira, so it can then go into automatically tickets get created on the back of bug reports, which means it immediately goes into our workflow, and those tickets are full of of that rich context as well, which is really important, right? And then your integration with Slack so that it's immediately obvious for the teams, when issues are being raised and so forth. And it is really, you pick up on, particularly with the Slack integration, teams can really, and you can filter so that different squads get different types of, get the things that they would be interested in automatically filtered to them. That means everyone's, quick to see. It's easy for everyone to spot when there's a new issue coming in, and it's got traction. So that it's really cool. It's the integration with other products is really good with Lucic.
Actually, a quick follow up question to that. Like you mentioned a lot of our integrations and how we play nicely with a lot of the tooling that you currently use. With that, could you touch on really quickly how your stack currently looks like and how you've been able to make sure that they all kind of seamlessly blend together, right? To give you that perfect picture, to help you resolve issues faster, to help you ensure a better user experience. And Anam, if you have like some insight into your stack as well, like we'd love to hear it, because this is also about like best practices and how Lucic can play really nicely with what's currently in your toolkit.
Yeah, sure. So, obviously a mobile app, right, is bringing together data from, often from multiple back-end sources. And at The Economist, all the back-ends we use New Relic is tightly integrated in those. And what we've done with the app is that all our logs go both into Luciq and into New Relic, and we've got the ability, with those logs to be able to, if we've made an HTTP request, some backend service, we can then follow through and see, okay, look in New Relic for that backend service and see what happened, in response to that API call, what happened internally in that backend service, right? And so it's not just giving the mobile teams insights. It allows us then to work with our back-end colleagues on their systems and say, okay, we made the app made this request. This is the response it got back. This is where it ties into your logs, in your system. What can you tell us about why we got that kind of response back? So it works well with that, really works well. And that, we can then use, New Relic's got a great query language. So we can use New Relic. If a customer raises an issue, it's in via a bug report in Instabug, and we see, certain things in the logs. We can query New Relic to find out other customers who've had the same issue. And so they get that. They work powerfully together. And then, as I say, it integrates neatly with Jira and Slack, so it fits with all everything we use, really.
That's awesome. A wonderful ecosystem you have going there.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you've experienced Luciq and how it's integrated into your teams, your workflows, and your stack.
Yes, very critical part of our workflow and team communication. So we get bugs directly reported into Slack. From that, we use a tool called Linear to organize tickets. And so we can quickly take the bugs that users report, triage them into tickets, and get that resolved as soon as possible. And that helps us move really fast, and we can resolve those issues as we see them. We can go into the logs, we can investigate the bugs. So that's really helped our workflow.
So actually, we've started talking about the how's Luciq works, right? And like how it blends very seamlessly into your day-to-day workflows. I guess a very important follow-up question to that would be, how it changed your engineering capacity, how it changed how you guys like resolve bugs or crashes or any issues. Has it increased the momentum? Has it made things faster? Have you noticed that your teams have, now more time to like innovate instead of just maintain, right? And make sure that the lights are on for your applications. Yeah, I guess like any one of you can start, but I just wanted to hear a little bit more about like, we have the before, the after, what's the end result from like a developer team's perspective?
And I think the key thing is that for most issues that customers raise, it's very quick for us to identify why that issues has happened, right? And that is absolutely key, because it's only if you understand why that you can address it. And you can see, obviously, I mean, when we wrote the app, the Economist app, we did that in 8 months. So we completely replaced an app that, and like it's a fairly sophisticated app. It's got video, it's got podcasts, it's got news, it's equivalent to any other news app like the New York Times. We did that in 8 months. And we could do that then launch it with confidence, because we had this ability to understand when things were going wrong, and therefore could quickly turn around and fix issues, right? And it is that, so we do weekly releases, and Luciq again gives us confidence around doing that, because it's useful during our own release testing. If the QAs find an issue, they can raise a bug in Instabug, and that gives us great context during the testing process, the engineers to fix issues. And when we beta, again, the same thing, and then we go production, but always any issues become with great context, which means that we can fix things quickly and turn them around for the next week's release.
Anam, I'll hand it off to you for this question too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how it's really helped us is like it's very hard to go in, understand, number one, where the bug is coming from, track it, look at the logs. And so getting that whole experience right off the bat has been very important to our team. And especially we're a very small team, so we're 4 software engineers. So we don't really have a lot of time or bandwidth to be, doing this super, like we need to know where is the root of the issue, what are the logs, what screens, where are the app hangs. And so the tool really allows us to do that in a very timely fashion.
That's awesome. No, like, I think just like another piece of the other aspect, right, in terms of like measuring productivity is also like the overall cultural shift that's happened. Has Luciq being implemented fundamentally changed how you work? Has it changed like some outcomes that you care about? Has it changed how your teams innovate? Or, is there something else that remains to be seen? Or are you more like, it's a more of a wait and see situation there?
I think one of the key things is that that integration with Slack for bug reports is really powerful because it means everyone in the squad impacted, particularly the product managers, have instant oversight of what's being raised, right? So they're fully informed in a way, which doesn't mean they have to go and find out what are the customer complaints. It's in Slack for them, right? And so that's really powerful because that then means, as I say, if there is any widespread issue, it's clear very fast, right?
Definitely. Anam, do you have anything to add for that in terms of?
I think John covered it.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, like I think this is definitely great, and of course, as we segue into like another topic that I wanted to talk about, it's more around like this expect the unexpected factor, right? So let's say you now have all of this visibility, you now have all of these metrics available to you in this very easy to read, very seamless dashboard, right? Like I'm sure you have access to a lot of issues as well as like whether things are going right or wrong, right? And when you finally have eyes on everything, right, with all of the integrations and with Luciq, you start seeing things you weren't even looking for. And I wanted to see if there were unexpected metrics that you now care about thanks to Luciq. Was there something around like a metric that we currently offered to you or showed to you that now acts as like a foundational piece to how you move and how you operate as a mobile development team or as like a company, especially for you, Anam, since like it's you own and you are the CEO of a smaller company. Has any metric, anything in the Luciq platform changed how you think about mobile observability or how you kind of like perceive a mobile app user experience?
I wouldn't say like the metric per se, like there's another metric we look at, but I think we think about the holistic experience a lot more and just like we think about failures and if we're actually delivering what we have to in terms of the product. And
Mm-hmm.
because these technical bugs that come in are, you know, you can have errors, you can have failures, and so tracking that better has helped us just deliver a better experience. But I don't know necessarily if there's a brand new metric that we're tracking, but we're able
Mm-hmm.
to just make sure the quality of what we're putting out there is up to par.
I like how you kind of put it, right? Because I think some of the stuff that we care about at Luciq is kind of pivoting how uh, developer or engineering teams perceive their outcomes, right? Instead of looking at the lines of code, instead of looking at these very traditional ways of measuring productivity, like measuring outcomes is a lot better. Measuring how you leverage your team's ability to innovate is definitely better. So I do like your fresh take on that. I do like how you're utilizing all of the what's available to you on Luciq to kind of like improve the overall experience and also improve the overall vibe and culture shift of your team. So I think the next step for me is like I'd love to tie it more to like business impact, since we've been so focused on developer productivity and getting to bugs faster and making sure that the integrations are all right. So in your world, how do you weigh the cost of a developer's time against the cost of a lost customer? I'd love to hear that just because I think it's very interesting where it's like I feel like engineering teams operate in a silo of like, let's look at the bugs, let's look at the crashes, let's look at the tickets. But is there a clear alignment for your teams as to like these bugs cost us certain users and cost us money, cost us like some aspect of our revenue and bottom line?
I mean, we care a lot at The Economist about the app rating because that definitely influences conversion, right?
Mhm. Definitely.
And so, and conversion obviously, is one of the key things we're trying to optimize. And so, learning from the bugs that customers raise allows us to improve how well customers perceive the app, right? If we didn't fix those issues, it would definitely impact the app rating. And sometimes some things aren't necessarily that straightforward. We've had, one issue we had in the past was um, customers raising issue about performance. Now, I'd not anticipated, that how powerful the sort of overlay of the session of memory usage and CPU usage were. But, just from that, it's easy to see the points at which the CPU has been hard hit, right? And when memory is being heavily used in sessions, and that really helps you build a picture and then understand, okay, for this customer, this is why the performance doesn't seem great,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that definitely has a business benefit because you're looking to minimize the number of you want to get customers reporting bugs to you and not to the world through the app reviews, right? And you want customers to, for the app not to get in the way of the product they're trying to consume, which for the economists is our journalism. Yeah. And so resolving those customer issues quickly so that a minimum number of customers are impacted definitely improves conversion, therefore definitely has a business benefit.
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much, John. Like I love how you tied something as technical as like CPU usage to like a review to like the true business impact. And I'm certain, right, that it seems like, having that type of analysis and that type of alignment has really helped, I would hope, the team prioritize issues better and
Yeah.
of course prioritize like your roadmap or any developments moving forward. So, Anam, like I know you're like the CEO of like Alinea. It's this fresh new app. How has that kind of affected you, right? You are the basically the embodiment, I think, of like a small, powerful team, and there's this intersection of like having the developers' interests at heart, while also being like a business leader who's thinking about like your the number of users, your monthly active users, your bottom line, and how everything is converting. So I'd love to hear your insights as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're always thinking, I think the best way to think about it is if you're delivering the best product experience, you will have the best business experience. So similar to what John said, like our app store rating, very critical. There's a bug, you're going to start getting bad reviews. You have to check in on that. The other item, it's like we're an investing app. If people can't deposit and withdraw their funds, you're going to get negative ratings. And that's something you have to monitor. And you can't have bugs, especially around money movement. That is, people get very upset with that. People get upset with bugs in general, but when it comes to your money, that's even more sensitive and higher priority. So this is just such a critical function for our business, for our product, for the tech. And so that's why we're working with Luciq, and it's good to have that constant stream of data coming in directly from the users who are actually, moving money through the product.
And I guess like, I have a couple more questions, right, before we segue into like another hot topic that I myself am very excited about. But what's next for you? Like what are the next steps in terms of your partnership with Luciq? Is there any piece of our platform that you'd love to explore further? Is there anything that you're excited about that you think that utilizing that component of our very powerful high fidelity contextual platform could really help your business expand or help the economist expand as well? So both for Alinea and the economist, I would say. Yeah. I could start with
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So
Go
the thing
ahead.
that we've not done a lot with yet is the use of AI with Lucic, because I think there's real potential for the AI to find issues for us, through all the logs, trawling the logs and identifying for us themes and stuff. I think there's real power in that. There's real potential.
Awesome. No, like you are now like setting us up in a
I
very
know.
great way as to like what the next hot topic is. But Anam, is there anything that you're excited about as well? Um, I tried downloading the Alinea app on like Android, and I don't think you guys are available on it yet. So I'm really excited to try using your app as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're only on iOS right now. I guess like I'm guessing your hot topic is something around AI.
Yes.
How we're getting there. I think that's our big thing, right? We want to be your AI powered investing assistant, investing companion. So how can we continue to deliver that and personalize that experience for everyone? And just another way to measure if we're actually setting out to do what we say we're going to do, is just that. So
That's awesome. So yeah, like I guess we're segueing into like the AI component because I think you may have already heard from Kenny and Daniel a while ago that there is a really bold vision that we have here for how AI are the agents that we're building will play into our platform and play into your workflows. Are there any aspects of that that excite you? And on the converse side, right, are there any aspects of that that concern you? And what do you think, for the people in the room, what should people be very mindful of and very like cautious about as well? And also, what should people look forward to, right? So I think those are like two sides of a coin, and I think we have to approach this from a very balanced perspective. Anam, since you came second, I'll flip it over to you first, and then to John.
yeah, I think kind of going back to that, we're trying to build the best AI investing companion. And so our goal is to make sure that everyone has a personalized investing experience. That is a very difficult thing to track. And just another tool in the toolkit is Lucic that is helping us to get there. And we're excited to continue to use more of your features as well to better understand, are we delivering the promise we set out to our users? And it's just another one of the ways to help us get there.
That's awesome. And John, tell us your concerns. Tell us your excitement. Tell us what's exciting. Oh, I think you're on mute, John.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I think what's exciting is, we collate huge amounts of data into the Lucid platform from people's logs, their screenshots of their session, all that sort of stuff. It seems to me, that should be really possible to analyze that and automatically, as I was saying earlier, identify issues. Maybe even before most customers have realized there are those issues, right? And to pick up on that. And, for the AI to say, okay, you've got this bug report in, but there's these 20 users who've had a similar scenario occur. There seems to be real leverage to that in me. So I'm excited to see what Lucy have got and what they're developing in that area.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, John and Anam. I think so I have two more questions, and then I'm going to open the floor to our attendees to see if they have any questions. But last one, little question 1.1 is any advice? Like now that you've kind of lived, for instance, at The Economist, you've lived through like this re-architecture and like this re-release of an app. Anam, you are a CEO. Like any advice that you can give the mobile leaders in this room as to like what they should really take with them moving forward and what mindsets they should leave behind. Yeah, so I'll start with that one. Just like life advice.
Life
And
advice, just keep going. Make sure you're fixing the bugs along the way. Make sure you're taking care of your users, but just keep going, keep monitoring, keep fixing. I would say keep shipping, keep fixing bugs.
I like that. Keep watching, keep doing, right? Like let's keep going. John?
Put a bug report form in your app.
How
Yeah.
concise and how Lucic coded is that?
Yes.
um, final rapid fire for me, and then we will have some time for like questions from our audience. 3 words to describe Luciq for you, your Luciq experience so far.
Critical, informational, I'm gonna say necessary. They're all very similar. Yeah.
Hey, you know, like
Insightful.
it just hinges on how necessary everything is. So I like that. I love how they are all kind of mutually aligned. What about you, John?
I'd say insight and great support as well. I mean, one of the other things is, dealing with your internal support guys, they're always super quick to respond, very helpful, and that's what you want from, when you partner with an organization, right? And they know the product. Now, those might sound obvious things, but in my experience, it's not always the case that every company you deal with as a partner is quick to respond and does know their product well, right? So, they're really important things too.
I will be sure to relay that message to the greater Lucic team. We are so thankful for both of your partnerships with our company and what we're building here. We are really excited that we have you guys like to kind of rely on as like product partners moving forward.